Hello, welcome to another video of account receivable module. In this particular video, we shall see how to account for customer invoice. So basically the journal entry for a customer invoice is debit the customer account and credit the sales account. In case you have booked for an accrued income, instead of crediting the sales account, we'll credit accrued income account. So let's go and see how can we do this particular accounting entries in an ERP. So to raise an invoice, we'll go to account receivable module. Under the invoice section, we'll click on all free text invoices. We'll click on new to open an invoice. So from a drop down list, we'll select the customer code that you want to invoice. We are taking as our example that we created a dummy customer in the previous video. So the next we'll move to the invoice section, and there is one particular type that we want to select from this drop down, either it's material or non-material. So basically the material invoice is where we are actually involved in supply of material. For services part, we can use a non-material. In case there is supply of material which is very minimal to the main contract, so this you can also classify as a non-material. From here you can select the date of an invoice, you can change, you can also adjust the due date. The invoice number section is blocked because when you will post an invoice, the system will auto generate the number. You can mention the client PO number. You can select the term of the payment of an invoice. While we created the customer code, by default we mentioned 30 days as the credit. So here from a drop down list you can mention the payment term of the particular invoice based on the conditions agreed with the customer for a PO. Then method of payment, you can just ignore, bank account no, just leave them. And under the entity bank section, select the bank account that you want to reflect on the face of an invoice. Then delivery, ETA, actual delivery, landing port, airway bill, these are actually falls under where there is supply of material. So we'll move to the next part, is where to whom this invoice is addressed. So we have to mention the client, person in charge to whom this invoice is addressed to. You can mention his contact detail, and this is a free text field that if you want to comment anything or you need to clarify something, you do add any additional part, you can mention over here, and you can select the currency as well. So let's go and fill. So these are the line of the invoice, so you can fill the details. You can mention the description as in your case. If the unit of measurement is EA, that is each, so there are several unit of measurement available. In case here you have to mention the percentage that you are invoicing. You are invoicing at 100%, you are invoicing at 20%, 30%, 50%, whatever is your case. You don't have to mention 50%, just mention 50 and system will process. HSN code you have to ignore, actually this is part of again the supply of material. In case you have created the site IDs in the system and you are invoicing at the site ID wise, so you can select the site ID from the drop down list. So in the start of the video we were recalling the journal entry for the customer invoice. So let's say I will creating an accrued income account. You can see the customer sales tax group is visible because when we created we assign a sales tax group to a particular customer, so that is visible over here. From items sales tax group you have to apply the tax rate that is actually is applicable. So tax rate you have to select as applicable in the particular case. So in some entities we have VAT withholding, and in some case we don't have VAT withholding, so accordingly identify the correct tax rate that is applicable. And also, as you know, when we were talking about the vendor module, we talk about the conditional sales tax rule. So let me revise here. Conditional sales tax is basically the customer, you'll make the payment to the government authority only when you receive the payment. So the condition here is payment, because generally what happens when you raise an invoice or based on the amount of the VAT or the tax in the country, we pay to the government. But in case the point of incidence in a particular country is on a payment basis, so we use the conditional method to do all this part. Okay, so accordingly, please select the correct sales tax code. You can mention the quantity, and in the unit price you have to mention the full value. So suppose uh, the amount is for a particular site we selected over here is 10,000 and we are invoicing 50%. So here it will be the full value of the site ID of the PO, as the case may be. You can add more line to an invoice. That's 6862. So you can select as many as line as you require. In case here actually you may be confused that you cannot see the amount of tax that has been calculated. So once it's done over here, you can, from the above, you can check the sales tax that is computed on this particular invoice. So you can see on the two line, first the qualified amount was 5,000 and second is 20, and the tax rate is 19.25. So accordingly the system has computed the sales tax, and the total amount of tax that is applicable on this invoice is 4,812 CFA. So we click on OK, we go to the main page. So we'll complete the dimensions. So under the dimension part you can complete all the information that is required. So for both the lines we have to complete the dimensions. So this is very important part, that you make sure your all the dimension that is required for a particular transaction, you mention them. In case you don't complete all the dimension as required by the account structure, for account structure you can refer to the first part of the for the training guide, where I explained that how the account structure plays a key role in applying the rules and helps in controlling. So this is actually the financial dimension for this part. So this is for 473 account, and for the customer you can mention over there, go to the header. So when you've completed all the information, you can save and then click on post the transaction. But before posting, let me show you how you can also generate a system invoice. So you can see a tab over here for print. When you click over it, okay, so you can see the invoice is auto generated. You don't have to now prepare the invoice in an Excel and then print and then update and entry in an ERP. So by the time you post an entry, the invoice is automatically generated. So all the basic information as required are available. You can see the client PO number, the terms of payment. We added two lines. We selected EcoBank. The tax as we discussed 4812, the comment section, our TIN number is all available. So the one thing to notice over here, that the invoice number is not there. So as I told you, when you post, the system will generate a unique invoice number, and after posting you can see the invoice number is available. In case you want to print, there is an options available. You can export this into PDF, Excel, Word, CSV, and whatever is the extension that you require. So in case if everything is ordered, you can post the transaction. So our invoice is posted, and if you want to see now, the invoice number will be visible on the face of an invoice. So there you go, the invoice number is available. You can export, sign, and then get this submitted to the customer. Okay, in case you face any problem, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you.